YouTube over here up and running. How's everybody doing today on this wonderful Wednesday? Greetings, greetings. It's your girl Queen Serene. Hey, and y'all the dream team now. But remember the days when we had that good music? I mean, I'm not saying all the music is bad now, but you know, it's some stuff I wouldn't like my children listening to. Not that we didn't have some of that, but we was a little more discreet with ours. I think we was a little more discreet, except for Luke, and that was the club scene, you know. But it's everywhere now. So I'm glad you guys are on. I want to start off with some Biggie Smalls. Come on. Notorious B.I.G., should I say? Uh-oh. I hope you guys can hear it. Today on, wait a minute. Am I on Neighborhood Superstars? Look, I don't even know. Look, if I'm not, I'll post it. Look, I'm supposed to be on Neighborhood Superstars. Hopefully I am. Give me a thumbs up if I'm on Neighborhood Superstars now. Let me know. I always get on the wrong one. But yeah, so you know, Biggie, he was so, like I say, notorious. He was just so amazing. He was, I loved him. I still love him. I still love his rap and his music and things like that. It's a tragedy what happened, you know, and but yeah, so I just wanted to kind of, and hope, I should have got a radio version, so my bad, but hopefully you guys can hear it. So, but today on Neighborhood Superstars, we are going to be talking about budgeting. I know everybody needs to learn how to budget, or at least need to start practicing budgeting, savings, things like that. I'm gonna give you some of my tips, things that I have implemented in my life, and hopefully you guys can use it. If you have some tips, feel free to put it in there. Put it in the little comment section. Okay, and I'm on YouTube. Here's my Facebook here. I have my YouTube family over there. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off here, and we're gonna get started. All right. So, like I said, we're gonna talk about budgeting today. Let's see if I get this right. And thank you guys for joining me. It's your girl Queen Serene. I know I repeated it, but we're on Neighborhood Superstars, and where we bring the entrepreneurial superstars to you, so that you can become financially free. And what is one way to become financially free is savings, right? Budgeting, and savings, right? Using your money wisely and budgeting and savings. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So when you're able to, first of all, in order to budget, you need to set some goals. Savings is the same way. You got to budget and save by setting goals. You can't just, it's not just going to happen. You have to set those goals. You got to put those goals in place. And so what I have called YouTube over here, smart with money, or no, smart budgeting, but you have to be smart with your money. And the SMART is an acronym. The acronym SMART is an acronym. And that acronym, first of all, you got to be specific, right? Be specific with those goals, those particular goals, and which means what exactly do you want to accomplish? You know, when you're saving, what do you want to accomplish? You know, what's your reason behind this savings that you're doing, behind this budgeting? What's your reason? Are you saving it for a trip? Are you just saving it to build wealth in order to invest it? Are you saving it to purchase something that you want in the future? You know, why you have to have specific, you have to be specific. Why are you doing this, right? Why do you want to accomplish this, basically? And then why is it important to you? You know, that's what makes it specific. Why is it important to you? What you want to build wealth. I mean, you want to be able to invest. You may want to start an emergency fund, because we all, I spoke about this before, having an emergency fund. And that emergency fund basically is that you need, like, if you were to lose your job or your income today, or your business were to crash, and you were today, and but you still had money in the money saved up to sustain you for 6 months. So that is that money that I'm talking about. That um what did I just call it? I done forgot already. Uh, that save. Well, anyway, that's that emergency fund. That's what I said. Okay, that's that emergency fund, because it's for an emergency. And then, so an emergency, I mean, I would say like a year, because you never know, but 6 months is, you have to have that income for at least six months. That is a good goal to start off with. So if you don't know why you're going to start off with anything with budgeting or have a goal, start off with building that emergency fund. Okay, and that's all your bills, all your expenses. Add those all up and times it by 6. That would be your emergency fund, because you want to be able to, in a bind, you want to be able to um, pay your bill. Still sustain until you get additional income. Down the road, right? Okay, so anyway, is that something you really want? So that's really, like I said, the SMART is an acronym. The S stands for specific. And then measurable. Is it measurable? Um, how much? How, you have to make it measurable. How much do you want to save? How uh, how will you know when you've met your goal? So you, of course, got to set that goal, because, like, I just gave you a goal, an emergency fund, all your expenses times 6. For 6 months of emergency. Some people say 3. I like to say, I like to say 6, but I always say at least a year. But that's going to take time. Of course, start off with 3, and then add another month, until add another month, and then add another month. Do at least 6. I would say at least 6. I wouldn't go 3. I would go at least 6, because those months go by quick, right? So make it measurable. You got to know how much that you want to budget or save, how much you want to save. Um, and action oriented. What specific actions do you need to complete and meet that goal? So, um, how much do you need to save out of each income that you have? Whether it be your job, uh, some self employment, some dividends, um, you know, child support. I know you use it for your children, but some people get a big amount to where they can put a little back for their children, of course, for your children. Because after all, that's what we're doing it for. We're doing it for because we're trying to obtain generational wealth at the end. That's the end goal for me, anyway. But so you have to, what specific actions do you need? So if you have just one job and you make so much a month, or so much, that week or biweekly, then you have to, um, say, what specific, how much do you specifically want to hold back? Do you want to put back $20 each time you get paid? Do you want to put back uh, 50, or whatever, five each time you get paid? I mean, compounding interest builds up. So trust me, anything that you save every time, it's going to build up, especially if you have control and don't touch it. Okay. And it has to be reachable. It has to be reachable. And so you don't say I'm gonna save $20 or $50, and you really, according to your bills and how they're set up, right? You want to, and then you won't be able to do it. You say, "Oh, I got this 50, but really I should have said 20." Um, make sure it's reachable. Make sure you are able to do what you say that you're going to do, right? Make sure it's reachable and that you are able to afford it. Okay. And time bound. When would you reach that goal? You know, so you can say, okay, I am trying to um make me an emergency fund. And what I want to do is I want to put back um, $20 each month. And after putting back that $20 each month, with your calculations, you want to have your emergency fund by doing the numbers. You'll have that emergency fund according to your bills calculated, and see how many months that's going to take in order for you to make sure that goal is attainable. And then you write that down. I'll have it done by this date. Put that date down and just, you know, keep on doing what you're supposed to be doing, saving that money, because you can see it. It's going to be, you put a time limit on it, and you can see that if I continue to do this, what I'm supposed to be doing each month, then at this date, according to my calculations, I will have this amount. So, you have to do that. That'll help you. Okay. And as far as that'll help you. And I know I'm not getting really much on the budgeting part, but you have to save too, right? Okay. So, strategies to stay focused on your goals. Strategies to stay focused on your goals when you're saving and you have a budget, because basically what you want to do is you want to be able to have some strategies put in place so that you won't, um, falter on on your goal. So you want to recognize the tactics used to influence your spending habits, right? So if you are, if you may get, sometimes you will be looking at some of these TV show, late night TV shows, or even these internet gurus and things like that, and they'll have a sense of urgency. Buy now, buy now. This is the last chance, and I'm gonna tell you right here, that's not the case, because trust me, they are going to have another sale, and it may be even lower than that sale. So they always say a sense of urgency, but it's not a sense, they make it, and that's just a selling tactics. I understand why they do that. And so I guess if you understand those tactics, you'll know that this is, unless it's a business that come not that's not a long-term business, and then they add a business after grabbing all your loot, all your money. But yeah, basically these long-term businesses that are up and standing, and has a lot of I guess customers and things like that, and they continue to have sales, and they continue to go down on their sales. Now you want to catch them on a good sale, but they'll have it, like I said, they'll have a sense of urgency, as if you can't get it. If you don't get it now, you just won't get it, right? But just know that when you're shopping, right? So don't have that sense of urgency. Oh, I got to get this now. Let me come up with the money. Um, and notice when and where you're tempted. I know for me, a lot of times I'm busy. I'm going here and going there, and I guess that's why I can't keep up with my weight goals. But and what I mean by that is because I will leave without eating, and then I'm out and about, and then you see these signs. See, that's another thing. You see these signs about uh, food and things like that, and of course I'm hungry. So then there you go. I'm spending money, but I try not to do that. But those are things that have tempted me. And what I've done to help myself is I eat before I leave. I eat before I leave. And if I don't eat before I leave, I try to eat before I leave. And if I don't eat before I leave, I try to bring something, bring a snack. Because trust me, and especially when you go to the grocery store, you get everything and anything that you don't even need and want. I mean, you just want it. You don't need. You got to understand that your needs from your wants too. But let me give you some attention. No. But yeah, so I eat before I leave. I try to, that's very important for me, because I know where money can be spent, and people don't realize. And good thing I don't smoke, because those smokers out there, whoo, that's money that you could be saving too, because it's expensive to smoke, right? So you got to see where you're tempted, and then you have to try to do that, try to eliminate some of that, or try to help yourself succeed by controlling your environment. Help yourself succeed by controlling that. And my way of controlling it is eating before I leave, because um that's in my area. Because I don't have no problem with impulsive shopping, you know, or anything like that. Because I will get a discount and go to a discount store in a minute. Okay. Um, and then I go too often, so maybe it would add up, but no. So yeah, you have to control. You got to set yourself up for success back by controlling your environment, which means those urges. You have to see what you can do to it to not have those urges. Okay, because if and then like on your list, put you a list together, and if it ain't on that list, it don't exist, right? If it's not on the list, I know it can be hard sometimes because it's hard for me sometimes. Okay, so you got to talk yourself out of it too, because is this a want or is it a need? Does this help me reach my goal? These are some of the things you can do to talk yourself out of it. What is my spending and my savings plan? Is this in my spending and savings plan? If it isn't, can I plan for this expense by creating a savings goal? So you can also add more to it, to your little spending plan, to budget and make sure that you can put that in your budget. So that's a way to do it, but you have to have it in your budget, right? Okay. All right. So that was like I said, that was the uh, smart, being smart with your money. All right, and uh budgeting for success, I guess. I could say. All right, but I also, if you guys also know, and I'm gonna keep it short. Oh, let me tell you about. Look at this! I got another beautiful uh glass or mug, and it says, and this was from a wonderful person that gave me this. Good friends are like stars; they make the world a brighter place. And then look at this little spoon. Isn't that cute? I love cute things. You know we do. We love cute things. Isn't that pretty? And then that purple, my favorite color, purple and red. Two of my and black, purple, red, and black. hmm but yeah. So, and I have some herbal tea hmm that I'm sipping on. Okay, now next, if you guys remember when I was telling you about my little planner, and I'm in the process of making some business planners for everyone, and I'll probably make some regular ones as well. But my planner that has every, you have to control your expenses and your expenses. You have to know your expenses and your what I'm thinking, your income and your expenses. You got to know what your income is versus your expenses, right? Your coming in money versus going out money, right? So what I do is I put all my expenses. Oh, well, that little net looked like a big old something, didn't it? Uh, uh, excuse me. But anyway, so I put my expenses, everything, all my expenses down, and of course you have your how much you make a year, right? Or not even a year, that month, because you want monthly. This is monthly, and this is what I do monthly. Put my bills down, my expenses, and that can include a lot of different things. It not even just the rent, utilities, water, different things like that, and telephone, internet, and cable. You also have your car note. You have, and your basic bills that sustain you each month. But you also have, you put your savings on there too. How much you're saving? Add that to the list. Like you got to put that $20 in there. Add your savings towards your emergency funds. Put emergency fund on there too, and put some money. Put the amount that you're going to put in there every day. say you want to give charity, give some charity, uh, give to charity, excuse me, which I do. I do that a lot. And, your charity contributions. Um, you want to do that as well. And you also want to put, like, if you have dividends, you want to put those, well, those are basically, that's not your expenses. Um, those are coming out, but things that you have to pay, if you pay child support, things like that. Like I said, anything that you pay, all your expenses for that month, you want to write those down. And then you want to write down not even just your expenses, but like I said, your income, your job, and like I said, the dividends will be more like income because you're not paying, you know, your dividends come to you as a check. And then some people get the child support as opposed to giving the child support. So, if that's on the expense side or if that's on the income side, you write that down. Any gifts, any interest you may get from any opportunity. If you have any self-employment, that will go on the income area for you to add up. And you add both of these up, and they have to, let's see if they weigh, how much they weigh. Here's the expenses, and here is the income. You have to let it go. Wait, expenses. Am I doing it right? Look, the expenses, you got to have the income way more than the expenses. There you go. That's how you do it. The income, this is the expenses, and this is the income. The income needs to weigh more. Okay. So, and how you do that? Sometimes you got to get you a second job or another stream of income. Remember, we talk about 7 streams of income here over here at Neighborhood Superstars. But I think that's basically it. Oh, but you also got to calculate for those annual fees um um if you belong to any organization, you may have an annual fee for say the chamber, or you can, because I know they do it annually, but they will split it up every 6 months as well. And then sometimes some of these other organizations, like the Kiwanis, you will pay weekly. I think Florence paid weekly, if I'm not mistaken, because it seemed like I was paying weekly when I was a part of it. It could be monthly, but I know it's not annual. Okay, there's something, so you got to put that in your budget as well. You got to put that on the list as well, and that'll be part of your expenses. So everything, put it down and see whether or not. And then when you do that, you'll be able to determine whether or not you can afford to do anything else, whether you need to go down on the expense plan, your emergency fund. I mean, and you'll have to think of those. Now, to recap, and I'm gonna let you guys go. I appreciate you being here. um you actually need an annual budget, but I want you to break it down monthly, because that's what I've been doing, is breaking mine down monthly, but you can also break it down quarterly as well, uh which all you have to do is times it by something, times it by, if you do quarterly, I think every four, times it by four, depending on the quarterly. But anyway, what money you expect to earn, you need to know that. See the difference between your plan and reality. You know, can you do it? Don't just say it. Oh, I'm gonna save 100 a week. You're not gonna do that. And then plan where to spend that revenue, and then know what you're tracking. What's your income, your cash flow versus your everything going in and coming out, like I was saying. And you have to have the right mindset too, because you have to be serious about it. This is something you have to really want to do, because it's easy to say, girl, have a, or, anyone, you need to have a budget, you need to have a plan. And then, but it's hard to follow, just like, me out there walking every day. It's hard. It's hard. So I understand that, but you got to have the right mindset for it. Okay. You got to be realistic. You got to be realistic. Don't aim for the stars when you on that hill. You ain't quite on that mountain. Um, you be realistic. Be conservative. You want to be conservative. So you want to not spend it all because that's unrealistic, but just, here and there. And you want to be flexible because you may have to change things. You may have to change your plan around. You may have to take more from one and put, to add to another. Things may change. You may have to drop some bills. You may have to drop some. Don't mess your credit up though. Pay your bill off in full. Um, but so be flexible and then prepare for pairs. So um if and I say prepare for pairs in budget, especially with a business, because this is, I guess I could have did it for business as well, and I think that's what put the prepare for pairs at, because if you buy a flashlight, you're going to have to buy batteries to go with it, right? So that's what the pair for pairs mean. One adds to the other, right? One, you can't have one without the other, just like peanut butter and jelly. Well, you can, but hey. Anyway, that's it for today. Again, it's your girl Queen Serene. I appreciate you guys for joining me today. Um, I'll see you guys when I see you, okay? but yeah, so you guys stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time, okay? All right. Peace.